Tonight, let's digest what Fed Chair Powell said during his press conference about recession. Is he telling the truth? Is he lying about recession? Right? What is going to happen tomorrow when GDP numbers come out? Let's discuss, and of course, let's discuss Bitcoin's pump right after the press conference. All right, let's get started. Smash it a like, subscribe to the channel. Make sure you hit that notification bell to get notified of all my streams. Follow me on social media. Check out CryptosRUs.com and follow the brand new Clips channel and the new Reacts channel. And some of you guys joined me earlier today. All right, welcome, guys. Sorry about the sound mix-up once again. I will get that fixed in the future. Well, right now you can see Bitcoin pumped up. It was as high as 23,000, kind of fell down to like 22.8, and that's where we are right now, right? Obviously, you can see this big green spike right here. This morning, people were really fearful about what Fed Chair Powell was going to announce. Thought it was going to be a crazy hike, 100 basis points or more, but no, he came out and said, we're just going to stick by with what we planned before, 75 basis points, which is already really high, abnormally high, I believe that's his words. So he's like, okay, this is what we're going to do. And we may raise rates again this much or even more in September, 2 months. But it's a wait and see moment. We have to see how the economy is, digest the numbers, right? He likes PCE number rather than CPI number more, right? He wants to digest these things before making a decision with his other board members, right? September. So this is in line with what people originally thought. Then people thought it was going to get bad. And then that's why things rallied, because it just went back to previous expectations, which is what I thought would happen. I told you guys, I think this would actually be a good thing afterwards. We'll probably rally, and we did. We're not full-blown rally mode, but just, slightly, right? Some of the pressure is alleviated. Now, the biggest thing that I got out of this, and a lot of you guys joined me during the Q&A session, what about recession, right? He was pressed like 5 times, 4 or 5 times, maybe not 5 times, but 4 times, asked directly about recession. Does he believe the GDP number tomorrow will basically confirm that the U.S. is in recession? And he dodged that as much as he can. The first time he was asked, he didn't even mention recession. Then he was asked again and again and again, and he finally had no choice but to say, no recession. Oh, man, I totally forgot about the lights. You guys want to... You gotta wait. No, I'll turn on the lights during Q&A. So if you guys want to see get a sneak preview of my OnlyFans setup, wait until Q&A. I'll turn on the lights. But yeah, so he finally had to answer, and he did, and he's like, okay, I don't believe the U.S. is in recession. So that's the biggest thing, right? But even after he said it, people pressed on. This reporter asked him, how can we believe you when you said that inflation was transitory, right? Powell did not like that at all. But yeah, he is basically siding with Janet Yellen and with President Biden. Basically, both has come out and downplayed this recession talk, downplayed GDP numbers, and so did Powell. He's like, you know what? GDP numbers gets revised all the time, so don't put too much weight into it. So they're all downplaying. So bottom line is he thinks we're not in recession, and the reason being is because the labor force is very strong. I mean, he just keeps talking about hammering on the point that labor force is still strong. There's plenty of people that's still finding jobs, right? Unemployment is at a 50-year low. There's still a lot of available jobs also. So according to Powell, as long as the labor force is strong, you don't have to worry about anything else. All the softening, all the decreased demand and everything else, it's okay as long as labor force is strong. That's according to Powell. And that's what he said today, right? So that's pretty much it. That summarizes that whole 1 hour of Q&A that he did with like 20 reporters, which all pretty much asked the same thing, and a few just completely wasted their questions. Now, Peter Schiff, I didn't know he was tweeting at the time, but looking at what he was tweeting, basically the same thing that I said. Balance sheet, Powell said that he expected the balance sheet to be reduced completely in 2.5 years. I'm like, no, that's not happening. Peter Schiff also agrees with that. He also, was talking about how Powell is pressed on this recession thing, and basically he had no choice but to answer it. And finally, when he did, he's basically ignoring what's to come tomorrow, right? So, yeah, so Peter and I have the same viewpoint on the press conference. So I guess that's good, right? And then, of course, we have Miss Pocahontas that warns the U.S. will suffer a devastating recession if the Fed doesn't ease rate hikes, right? So there are some that's warning already, saying, hey, we better stop the rate hikes because the U.S. will suffer a recession, right? Yeah, so it's a hard line to balance, obviously. If you go too hard with the rate hikes, yes, it's going to make recession even worse. But let's remember that the recession is here, will be confirmed tomorrow. It's Fed-induced on purpose to slow down the economy, to bring down inflation, right? So it's a little bit of different times, right? But Miss Warren thinks otherwise. All right, now, in addition to the press conference today, some earnings. We got some good earnings, some bad. Facebook, Meta, lost again $2.8 billion on the metaverse division. That's no good. That's no good, right? They keep putting more money into the metaverse, and they keep losing more money. They lost $10 billion, over $10 billion last year. And this year, they're on pace to lose even more than that. They just can't solve this metaverse thing. They just can't. As much money they're throwing into it, they are not making any headways right now. And what's worse is the FTC is suing them because Facebook, since they can't innovate, what they're doing is buying out every VR/metaverse project company. And FTC is suing them to stop them from becoming a monopoly. That's what Facebook does. They don't know how to innovate anymore, so all they do is just keep trying and buy out competitors, right? They have endless money to do so. But, when they run out of competitors to buy, they get in trouble. And Mark has been doing a lot of virtual conferences with his employees, telling them to tighten up, and not everyone should be working at Facebook. He's kind of like pulling a Elon, right? He is under a lot of pressure to turn things around right now because Facebook is just not winning on any fronts. None whatsoever. But you know who is winning? Surprise, big surprise, Ford beats expectations. So they killed it. Ford killed it. Adjusted earnings per share, 68 cents versus 45 cents. Their revenue, $37 billion versus $34 billion expectation, and their income, $667 million versus $561 million. Ford killed it. And that's a big surprise, right? Auto manufacturers, they're suffering from the supply chain issue. GM just reported saying that they're suffering because of supply chain issues. Even Tesla said it, but Ford is like, nah, we're doing good. So that's a big surprise. Good for Ford. Good for Ford. What else is there? There's still a lot more earnings to come. So tomorrow, besides GDP numbers, you're going to get Apple and Amazon and Intel, right? Some of the big tech companies that's reporting. And, of course, you got other major big companies like Pfizer and Comcast and MasterCard and you got others like P&G on Friday, ExxonMobil, right? So there's going to be a lot more coming, right? So we'll have to pay attention to those two things too. Now, let's get to some crypto stuff. I missed this completely, and I'm pretty sure most people have missed this completely. And that is Coinbase's Film. Coinbase recently, under a lot of scrutiny, attacked and probed by Gary Gensler himself, the SEC, right? And this was completely missed. So supposedly they came out with like a short film in collaboration with Bored Apes, I guess. I didn't watch it, to be honest. I just saw it here on their NFT page, and their NFT project is a big failure right now. But anyways, you can watch part 1, and then, this is on YouTube. So I'm like, okay, how many people actually viewed this? So in total, only 3,000 viewers. 3,000 views. So that's even less than 3,000 viewers. So I could tell a lot of you guys had no clue or have no interest in this. So is this the right time to be releasing a short film despite all the FUD around SEC and their security tokens, right? Probably not the best time. But they thought this might distract people, but obviously not. Only 3,000 people watched this, so that's actually pretty sad. But I just want to bring that up for you guys. All right, what else is there? Well, here's a friendly reminder of Bitcoin over the years. And I know a lot of you guys always just look at it from the top, right? Never from the bottom. Here's a good reminder of Bitcoin going back to 2011 when it was on $14. Not every year goes up. Bitcoin has cycles. Bitcoin has corrections, right? Even though it seems like Bitcoin always goes up, no, it doesn't. Look at that big drop, that $5 drop in 2011 to 2012. If you're calculating the percentage, that's huge. That's like 40%, right? But then it went up 10x to $89. Then went to $600. But look at that drop from $600 down to $300. That's a 50% drop, right? So if you were looking at this chart in 2015, you're like, okay, the bubble has burst. It's time to move on. But no, it climbed up. 18, 19, 20, very similar, but it still climbed up. So even though right now, yes, we are a little bit lower than 2021, right? But Bitcoin always finds a way and moves forward because of the holders. The holders are not giving up. In fact, the holders are stronger than ever, and there's more holders now than ever before too, right? But just a friendly reminder, and as we head higher, right, we will break through the 2021 highs and make new highs and continue forward, right? But just a reminder that just a few years ago, Bitcoin was still below 10,000, right? So keep that in mind. Now, what else is going on? Bitcoin Bull, Bitcoin Maxi, Michael Saylor again talks about how he doesn't trust Ethereum. Okay? He says this time, he's like, well, Ethereum is not done. Vitalik said he's not done with it, so I'm not going to invest in anything that's not done. And then he's like, well, I got to make sure that Vitalik himself can't change the code. Because if you could change the code, that means that it is a security. So again, I don't think anyone made Michael aware that Bitcoin also has code updates. Okay? Bitcoin goes through updates too. So I don't know if Michael's aware of that because he's talking like Bitcoin has never changed since its inception. That's not true. It has changed. So what's going on with Ethereum? Maybe more drastic, moving consensus from proof of work to proof of stake. Yeah, that's a pretty big change, but there's been changes too for Bitcoin. So I think he's missing that point. But you know what? It's okay. Without Michael Saylor's support of Ethereum moves on. They just completed another fork. This is basically testing out how the real merge is going to work. And that should be coming in a couple months, right? So Ethereum is moving on. And the metrics measuring Ethereum is sky high too, just like Bitcoin. There's a lot of people that really believe in Ethereum, even though it's not done. But wait, the merge is around the corner. All right, Polygon also. Polygon doing fantastic. They tweet out all these metrics, and all these metrics are fantastic, right? The number of addresses, users, it just goes on and on and on. Even NFTs, right? Wallets for NFTs. I mean, you go through it, it just makes you really, I don't know, satisfied. It makes you very happy to see that project like Polygon is just moving forward, not sitting idle like some of these other projects that seems to be making really boneheaded moves. Okay, and who am I talking about? Who's making boneheaded moves like Harmony right now? I covered this morning. I'll cover it again. But Harmony's new proposal to try to make people whole, that $100 million hack, is by releasing billions of more one tokens, hoping that the market doesn't crash and that somehow just reimburses people and people will be fine with it. Even though they have a treasury, I don't know how large the treasury is, probably not 100 million worth, but they don't want to touch that because they're like, well, the team needs that treasury. So we're just going to inflate the overall circulating supply by billions, and it'll be okay, everyone. And that's how you're going to get compensated. It's a horrible idea. That's how Luna crashed because of all the billions and billions that was minted due to the Terra depeg, due to the UST depeg. So yeah, it's not a good idea. I don't know what the team is thinking about. I don't know what else they could do. Honestly, I haven't given it some serious thought, but it's not a good situation. Not good at all. And lastly, about Shib. Well, Shib is still being accumulated by the billions because there are some huge Ethereum whales. They can't get enough of Shib. I see headlines like this all the time. These big Ethereum whales keep hoarding Shib. Like they know something. Like they know something's coming up. And I know Shib has a lot of things coming up, but these guys, man, they're so bullish on Shib, and they just keep buying more and more. Okay, well, good for Shib holders. And there are a lot of things coming up within Shib's roadmap. So let's see. Let's see what happens. All right, guys, that is pretty much it. I did say I'm going to give you guys a preview of my OnlyFans setup, so I'll do that since we're doing Q&A. Give me a second here. Better, guys? I just got to play some music. I don't have any music with me. Corey, I appreciate that. Is there a couch in my OnlyFans? There happens to be a couch right behind me, if you haven't noticed. Oh, by the way, I know some of you guys, joined me in my premiere, but yeah, I'd like for you guys to check out my new channel, George Reacts. I'm just going to be reacting to viral stuff, trending stuff, things that I find interesting or funny, right? So make sure you subscribe. And I'm going to be doing a lot more videos with these cool lights in the background. This very first one I totally forgot about it, but I'll make more, so make sure you tune in. But for those of you guys that did, thank you, and I think most of you guys found the first one interesting, at least. Oh, today is DCA Day. I totally forgot about that. Let me bring that up here. I have not... Shoot, I forgot what it was. Can't log in right now. Hold on, you guys ask your questions while I try to figure out how to log in. I forgot my login here. I think I got it. There we go. Okay, I think I got it. Yeah, here we go. All right. So, looking much better. 2 weeks ago when I was DCAing, this was still like negative 52% or something like that, right? Obviously not doing well since July of 2021, but it's okay. That's the whole point of DCA. You take the guessing out, you set a schedule, and you keep going. So this week I'm going to do $200 instead of $100 because last week I was on vacation. I didn't get a chance. So this week I'm going to do $2. You know what? looking through here, I've been sticking with the big boys, right? Bitcoin, Ethereum, Solana, Polygon, Cardano, BNB, Cosmos, Phantom. Avalanche. And these guys have been doing very well. Ape also has been coming up. It's almost $7 again. Polkadot, Cadena. A lot of people still really hopeful for Cadena, and I like them too. Harmony, even though they're not doing very well right now, I still have a good amount. I'm going to stick with the basics, okay? Even with Bitcoin below 23,000, I think it's good. I'm just going to stick with, I'm a big fan of Polygon at this point. So I think I'm going to put $100 into Polygon and $100 into Bitcoin. Just keep it simple, right? And that's pretty much it. Let's just add here. So Polygon is 87 cents. So 100 divided by 0.877, 114. Alrighty, and then Bitcoin. $100 divided by 22,720.0044. There you go. All right, there you go. So this week, Bitcoin and Polygon. But really, the big caps, those are the ones I'm eyeing right now. So they're definitely recovering much faster, getting more momentum, and as the market recovers, they're going to come up in a big way. So there you go. All right, let me see what I missed. Speaking of Shib, Gadget Inu asks, what are your thoughts on meme coins in general and microcaps on BSC? Microcaps on BSC, I would stay away from. Meme coins, also I would stay away from. But I like Shib the best out of all the meme coins because it does seem like they're trying to move forward and not be a meme coin. I know some of the others like Floki and stuff is trying to do that too, but Shib, they seem to have a lot of momentum. You got ETH whales still buying them up like crazy, and they have Shibarium and Shiboshis and their Shib swap, and there's more that's coming. They're really trying hard to get out of this meme coin game, and I think in the future it'll be good for them. Ben asked, will we get any of our funds back from Celsius? I think you'll get a little bit back. I think they're gonna figure out a way to give some of it back, but not all of it. I'm thinking honestly, Ben, I don't think you'll get all of it. Stefan, thank you, man. Welcome. Not welcome, but thank you for being a loyal viewer for a while. Dion Warwick, NFT, DRM dropping this week, Theta only. Okay. I to be honest, I have no idea who that is. XRP and Phantom. I like Phantom. I think they're smaller. They're not a big cap. They're like a mid cap, but I think they're still doing very well. And as for XRP, I hope they win the lawsuit. I hope Ripple wins the lawsuit. It's going to help XRP in a big way. Rob, thank you, man. Thank you. All right. What else is there? Tech review. Appreciate it, man. All roads lead to Bitcoin. Great show, BitMoon. Thank you. And, I think that's correct. I think a lot of people may not believe in altcoins, and that's fine. But if you could utilize altcoins and their gains to gain on Bitcoin so that you can accumulate more Bitcoin faster, there's nothing wrong with that, right? So you could do that, or you could hold on to altcoins if you believe that they're going to be the tech giants of the future, right? Either way. Rich Q, I appreciate that, man. Thank you. Please make a OnlyFans I Am George NFT. I'm going to work on that. Reserve rights, Gary Gray. I think reserve rights was like bucket of stable coins. Not a fan of that. Not a fan. You need to refresh the market page. Let me refresh. Ooh, I did need to refresh. I thought CMC refreshes every 10 seconds, but anyways, yeah, we're above $1 trillion. Not a billion, $1 trillion, right? That is fantastic. That is fantastic. So tomorrow will be interesting. Tomorrow will be very interesting. With recession confirmed tomorrow, right? Will markets still continue to rally? And it's looking like yes. Because again, this is not a recession because the economy is going to the shitter, all right? Pardon my language, pardon my French. It's induced by the Fed to try to stop inflation, right? So it's interesting, and I think most people understand that now, right? The labor force is still strong. You still have unemployment really low. You still have a lot of job openings. You still have a lot of companies that's still doing well, not struggling. And I do believe there's still a tremendous amount of money on the sidelines. Earned income, capital gains from 2021. I think a lot of people still sitting on that. So I think tomorrow could be a nothing burger. I think tomorrow we'll get bad GDP numbers. We'll get recession confirmed in the U.S., and then the market will just shrug it off and can continue forward. That would not surprise me. Now, of course, we could go down because of today's rally, but it would not surprise me if we just continue to move forward tomorrow. Buy a new Rolex. I'm waiting for prices to come down. I don't want to pay triple the price. Even though they have been coming down, they're still like at least triple or double the price. I want them to be at least MSRP. When I was in Cancun recently, I went to a Rolex store, and I hate this. They have a few Rolex on display, but they won't sell it to you. They'll say, oh, it's just for demonstration purposes. I'm like, what's the point if people can't buy it? They're like, well, you could put on your wrist and try it. And I'm like, what's the wait time? They're like, oh, it could be 2, 3, 4, 5 years. I'm like, come on. Then it's better to just not have something for people to try, because if people want to buy it now, they have to wait 5 years. So, yeah, I don't like that. I don't like that at all. So you can still get a Rolex, if you can find one at a store, like a used one or on eBay or whatever, as long as it's authentic. But they're still like double or triple the price. Someone says, what can you say about Phantom? I'm down 80%. Should I start DCA? Well, I think you answer your own question. If you're down 80%, then it's a great time to DCA. If you buy the equivalent amount that you hold, now you're only down 40%. Okay? So you could recover much faster. So I do believe Phantom is a good project. I do believe they'll come back. They had some FUD before about Andre Crony leaving and so forth, but supposedly he came back to help. And there's some FUD before about the FUSD depegging, but it's not the same way. It's still over-collateralized. It doesn't work the same way as Terra. But they're a smaller project. That's why they fell more. But I do believe they're going to come back up. Constellation 2.0 is good DCA. Both legacy system and layer 1 will be able to plug into it. I've heard good things about it. I don't know the differences between 1.0 and 2.0. So I still have to look more into that. But thanks for pointing that out. Cars will soon be sold like that. Yeah, that's going to be horrible. Horrible. Rolexes are not for 75-year-old grandpas. I don't know what you're talking about. I just tuned in. The echo was freaking me out. I apologize. I'm going to have to cut that out later. Are we pumping? I think we're pumping. I mean, if you look at the short-term indicators, they were all sky high, so it makes sense that Bitcoin takes a breather. But if we could hold here, build this base right here, we could definitely move on, get back to 24,000. And if we get back to 24,000 and break that, guess what's next? 29,000, right? We need some more short squeezes to happen. A little bit more short squeeze, but you could see this huge drop off from 29,000. We could go straight back up. If we can break through this 24,200 that we were at, very little resistance past that. So after that, we could break right back up to 29,000, 30,000, and then we'll be back in business. Saw the new Rivian today. Yeah, I'm starting to see more of them. But somehow the order, I think they still have like 70,000 on order that they can't fulfill. So I don't know how these people are getting their Rivians. They must have ordered like 4 years ago. So I ordered last year, and it's unlikely I will get it anytime soon. Yeah, today was a horrible liquidation day for shorts. During the live stream, over 100 million shorts liquidated. You could see right there. Yeah, that's pretty bad. That long one is already 94 million. This is 45 million. Here's 18, and then you have 8, 9, 12, 6, right? So that's like 300 million of shorts liquidated. And I don't feel sorry for them. First of all, you should never short Bitcoin. And second of all, you should not play with heavy leverage like that. Gerard, keep doing great things. We're all George. Thank you, man. Appreciate your support. Thoughts on Russia and China and other countries coming up with a new global currency? They could do all they want. Doesn't mean that other countries will adopt it. But I bet you they're loading up on Bitcoin right now. If they really want to, come up with a new reserve currency, a new global reserve currency, what better currency than Bitcoin? So I bet you they're hoarding Bitcoin. Can you change your lights with Alexa? I don't know. These are not that fancy. There's a button. I have a remote, but yeah, they're not Alexa enabled. Are you meal prepping and working out? I was until I got really sick the last few days, so I've not been working out. Meal prepping, no, I've just been eating healthier. That's all. When we get back to 40K, 3 months, 6 months, I think realistically by the end of the year, we'll be between 40 to 50K, right? So it's not going to be fast. But definitely in 5 months, by the end of the year in December, can we see Bitcoin at 40K? I think that could definitely happen. I think we're at a cusp of breaking into 30s. And then once we do that, slow and steady upwards trend till the end of the year, right? Unless something drastic happens. If there's a major meltdown, a major recession, the war escalates, something like that. Some macro stuff that we can't foresee. Unless something like that happens, I think we're going to slowly recover from here. And realistically, between 40 to 50K, I could see that happening before the year end. I hope Kevin Durant joins Miami. No, come on. No. Kevin Durant needs to join LeBron and just ride his coattails to another championship. That's what he needs. His ego is probably prevent him from doing so, but if he doesn't do that, he's not going to get another ring. Hope I didn't drink the Mexican well water. No, I did not. All bottled water for me. What's the story behind why we're all George? It's just something silly. Years ago, someone suggested it. I said it. People liked it. But basically, you guys know I have the best community out there, right? You guys You guys are the best among any of the guys out there, I believe, in terms of audience. We've gone through a lot of things together, right? Battled FUD and withstood a lot of the uncertainties, right? Up and downs, right? So we're all in it together. That's the whole thing about We're All George, is just that we stand together, and we'll face anything together, and we'll get through it together, and we'll all prosper together. But you know, it's basically a copy of We Are Negan from from Walking Dead. But yeah, that's why I started. We do a video on a new Ascent redesign or all Subaru. I have not touched any Subarus in a long time. I covered all the previous Subarus, and they're okay. I didn't know that the new Ascent had a redesign, though. Even the old one was a decent one, except the only thing holding Subarus back is that CVT transmission, which, in my opinion, was not very good. Did not make it fun, or any of the Subarus fun at all. So I don't know if they've gotten away from that. Like Nissan's always plagued by CVT issues. So now with the new Pathfinder and others, they started going back to a automatic transmission. Hopefully Subaru follows, because their CVTs are not that good. All right, guys, I'll let you go. Overall, Bitcoin is doing well. Fed Chair Powell says we're not in recession, so that, I guess that's good. But we'll know more tomorrow, right? And as for Bitcoin, I already said it. It's strong. It's looking like it wants to move up. So things are looking good. Stay strong, my friends. Focus on the future. And like I said, we'll get through this together. Make sure you tune in tomorrow, 8:15 a.m. Central Standard Time. And make sure you subscribe and check out the new George Reacts channel. And check out my very first video. And leave comments. If you guys actually find, I know a lot of you guys are on TikTok and whatever, YouTube, right? If you find anything that's worthy of me reacting to, leave in the comments, and I'll try to do it, right? So it'll be something interesting outside of just normal crypto stuff, right? All right, guys, have a good one. Oh, by the way, I got something to show you guys. Before you leave, check this out.
What do you think about Ripple?
Well, I mean, I think it's too centralized, but I definitely want to meet Chris Larson.